What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to the WARFRAME video. So I don't really know what I'd call this video today. Not really a news video, kind of like a hot take reaction video to some stuff that's been happening with the top DE devs on Twitter recently. So we'll be talking about some of that. Basically just going over if you should be worried or not about any of the stuff that's being discussed. And it's going to be discussing stat sticks on specific frames in Warframe, basically buffing them with a ton of extra damage. It's been a thing for a long time. And basically, should you be worried about them removing stat sticks for your favorite frames and your extremely powerful ribbons? I'm going to go ahead and just say right off the bat, no, but we'll go into a deep dive on this information here in the video. If you enjoy these types of videos, whatever this video is supposed to be, also we got news videos, build videos, all that kind of stuff on this channel. Make sure you hit that sub button. I appreciate all the support recently, guys. It really means a lot. And we'll, of course, be covering the newest updates right when they come out. You know you can count on me for those new updates. All right, so speaking about the current update, and actually, probably nothing will come of this, so it's kind of more of a fluff video. Keep that in mind. Last video we did it on Pablo's Twitter ended up being a massive nothing burger. Remember that video I made about overshield not counting for shield getting wherever it was on Pablo's Twitter? That was a complete waste of everyone's time, including mine, because actually when the patch came out, overshields didn't count for the shield gate duration. So, yeah, okay, just keep that in mind. We're going to have a lot of information in here telling you why you should not worry about this. But let's get into the first tweet right away. Appreciate all the support again, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about this tweet. So we have a tweet at the directly at the lead DE dev Pablo. This is basically the guy who designed, I'm pretty sure he designed Dagath, he's designed Nidus, he designed Harrow, the list goes on and on. This is the guy that is one of the more important DE devs that I'm aware of, so him saying stuff is pretty important in my eyes. So just reading the tweet though, I'm blurring out this person's name. Please do not harass this person. I know they kind of seem like they're asking for it with the way this tweet is worded, but they probably have some good reason for it, I'm assuming. But just please don't harass anyone. Of course, you can go check out the tweet. I'll link the tweet in the description. But please don't go harass anybody, guys, okay? All right, let's start off with this. Hello, Pablo makes. Most frames with exalted weapons have ways to mod them. So weapon mods aren't used for stats, whatever that's supposed to mean. I'm not going to try to overly decipher their tweet, even though this tweet really annoys me. But what do they mean that mods aren't used for stats? For weapons that can be specifically modded, you do mod them for stats. You mod them for the elements you want, the crit stats you want, etc., etc. So I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But moving on, past the odd first sentence, this isn't the case for Korra, Atlas, and Gara, and Ash, which leads to using high Riven Dispo weapons to optimize the frames. Can you please finally kill stat sticks? And then Pablo responds, by the way, I'm just pointing this out. The tweet did not get that many likes compared to Pablo's response, so they seemed like they were trying to stir up some controversy or something with this tweet. That's why I put a clown over their face, because that's kind of how I view them after this tweet. And Pablo says, "Get off your alt account, Rebecca," because apparently Rebecca. So okay, we'll go to the history of this too. So I'm just gonna keep reading this, and then Rebecca, the game director of Warframe, responds. Pseudo-exalted weapons should be moddable for great power without the use of stat sticks. That's kind of what her first tweet was. Now, I have a second tweet from Rebecca after this. And that's going to be the follow-up after a bunch of backlash kind of on the tweet. And her response was to someone saying, yeah, that's why Pablo joked at my alt account. We will be doing a comprehensive look at this system in the future to hopefully improve it. But it's not on the schedule yet. Lots of goals to fit in. Okay, before you get worried about reading that tweet, oh my gosh, my ceramic dagger stat stick is going to cost 2 plat. Don't worry, okay? I'm going to show you why you should not worry in about 2 minutes when I show you some of my reasoning for this, okay? But continuing to read the rest of this here, she realized it was probably not the right thing to be talking about this on Twitter. I understand and won't use Twitter to cause concern. Nothing is scheduled or planned. Just thinking on quality of life, okay? So, to give you the recap of all these tweets, person that has no good stat stick ribbons complaining about ribbon stat sticks on and all that stuff. Pablo jokingly responds saying, Rebecca, get off your alt account because, spoiler alert, I've talked to Pablo a lot. they don't really want the nerf stat stick Rivens. So the fact this person's even asking for it is hilarious to me. But then Rebecca responds that these weapons shouldn't be moddable. They should be moddable for great power. So basically saying, like, yeah, we should be able to red crit with Korra with no Riven, even though you can. And then basically just backpedaling, saying, don't worry about it, guys. We're not going to actually do anything. So here's what I'm saying why you shouldn't worry about any of your stat sticks getting removed or nerfed. We can, of course, have a conversation about this. But, yeah, guys, don't worry about it. I would like to remind you that if you have not been playing this game for a full year, we already have stuff from last year that said they were going to add and even showed us in-game that didn't get added, okay? This might be a treat for you if you haven't seen this already. You know how rocket launchers and Brahmas and all that, you shoot your foot and you don't take any damage, you just get knocked over? Makes literally no sense at all. Why does my corrosive rocket launcher do 0 damage to me? Okay, whatever. But yeah, they were going to add self-damage back last year, and look, they literally showed it to us on a dev stream. This is the November dev stream of last year, I believe. Actually, it might have been October. One of those two, October or November of last year.
Threshold for damage is 75% regardless of your mod. So if you shoot right at your feet, yep, 75% of your health pool will be taken away. There is range, 25% far away.
They were literally showing us this in game.
So for things like Brahma that have fragment, they won't. And then if you hit something that's kind of outside your control, you won't take as much damage. So let's, he die, I chill. This is Pablo's contribution.
Thanks, Pablo.
So now this is I think we have a slow motion version just for people that want to see it again.
Okay, so
what this does is the intended outcome of this change is that you threshold for damage is 75%.
It doesn't matter what the intended outcome, well, the change was because it never got added to the game. So that's one of my examples right there, okay? They're literally, so this was shown to us in the dev build of the game. This was, I think, the Echoes of Deviri update or something like that of last year, like right when Varuna's Last Hunt was coming out. So basically, yeah, they're not going to nerf stat sticks. They've been saying they're going to nerf stat sticks indirectly for years. I'd also remind you as well, if you've been playing this game for 3 years or longer, remember when the Zorus first came out? That electric glaive from the Protea quest? Well, involving stat sticks, they actually did end up nerfing the Zorus because it didn't involve any Rivens. It would give you infinite combo duration, and you could just have Blood Archer Weeping Wounds stacked up as high as possible. The Rivens were really, really bad. They were like 0.5 dispo. And ever since then, ever since DE was like, uh-oh, well, we'll address stat sticks in the future. This was 3 years ago, by the way. 3 years ago, this is what we're talking about right now. They said, we'll address stat sticks specifically in the future. Couldn't find that tweet. It's from like 2020, and I didn't really want to hunt it down, to be honest, but basically, I'm just trying to tell you, they've been saying they're going to nerf stat sticks, stat stick this, stat stick that, since 2020 or earlier, guys, okay? Just because one person was complaining on Twitter saying, I don't have a God Roll stat stick Riven, I don't want to have to use the Magistar, I don't want to use the Ceramic Dagger, please nerf this. They were just telling them that to make them feel better about their little request, okay? They've been saying the same thing about these stat sticks since 2020. I have literally spoken directly with devs saying they don't want to nerf it because there's so much money tied up in these. Because think about it. Okay, you know what? Let's entertain the complainer here. Let's say that for some reason they pulled a Universal Medallions on Conclave here. That one random person asking for wish fulfillment on Twitter got what they wanted. And because of this tweet, stat sticks were removed from the game. What do you think happens after that? How many million plat worth of stat stick Rivens do you think players would feel burnt on afterwards? Because I'll tell you what, as someone, for example, me, I have probably 4 or 5 stat stick Rivens at least. One of them being extremely expensive with that new Magistar video I just put out. So how do you think I would feel? I'd be like, DE, I need about 30,000 plat worth of I need plat back. I need the millions of Kuva I spent on these Rivens back because let's be real here. The fact that the Ceramic Dagger in Karnan makes the weapon really good is extremely nice. Like, I would not be using the Ceramic Dagger if there was no Incarnon. And the fact that the stat stick makes it even more desirable. But that's just one example. Let's look at some of the other weapons used as stat sticks. How about the Bow Prime Incarnon? I know it's not a super popular one, but there was some guy trying to say it's the highest status chance one in the game. And it's like, okay, you know what? Sure. Let's say you got a stat stick Riven for the bow and Karnan. You want as much status as you can get. You want as much crit as you could get, etc., etc. And let's say they remove the stat stick thing for Korra, Gara, Atlas, blah, blah, blah. Do you think that you would want the same roll on your bow Riven for a non-stat stick build versus an actual stat stick build? And the answer is, for the most part, is going to be no. Because the stats that work on the stats that work on stat sticks from Rivens are not every stat works. For example, Bane of the Grenier does not work. Negative Bane of the Grenier does not work for that matter. So you rolled your Rivens for specific stats for these stat sticks because it's been working this way for, 6 years or more. Like, stat sticks worked on Korra when Korra first came out, guys. Okay, so now Blood Rush didn't work back then, and Weeping Wounds didn't work back then, but stat sticks, or rather Rivens, did work on Korra back then too. Okay, so I'd say don't get worried about this. If you want to be super paranoid and try to list some of your stat stick Rivens just because Rebecca literally said in that, we're not trying to twist her words. She did say they will be looking into it in the future, but I'm just trying to call her, I'm basically just calling her bluff right now. I'm saying, you guys were saying this in 2020 with these Zoras, you look in the stat sticks, and here we are 3 years later with stat sticks more OP than ever. Did you know that Incarnon upgrades apply to pseudo-exalteds like stat sticks? Yeah, they do. Okay, so are you gonna remove that after this big power creep thing we've had going on? I don't think so, personally. So, and not to mention too, like I said earlier, stat stick Rivens are the most expensive Rivens in the game. That is a big driver for people actually grinding this game out. Why do you think people are grinding out Kuva? They're probably trying to roll maybe they're trying to roll a stat stick Riven. Why people are buying plat in some situations, buying an expensive stat stick Riven potentially. I know for a fact, I've had people, this is going to sound a little bit bad to people that don't buy Rivens and sell Rivens, but I'm going to tell you a quick story, okay? I was selling a Riven to somebody for multiple thousand plat. Totally fair trade. It was a good Riven, okay? The dude wanted to buy the Riven, and he's like, can you make it any cheaper? Blah, blah, blah. We negotiated. In the end, he still needed another 1,000 plat. What do you think he did to get that 1,000 plat? He bought platinum to buy the Riven, okay? DE wants the money from these Riven sales. Now, you can't directly say that it's always going to be like, okay, every time someone buys a Riven, that's plat being purchased for cash. No, a lot of the Riven trading in this game is, one guy gets the 1,000 plat, he wants to go buy a 500 plat Riven, 500 of that plat goes to the other guy, and it's a bunch of Riven traders just trading their plat around, basically. But that's not entirely the case, too. Also, when somebody buys a Prime Access, you get like 2,000 plat with it. What are you going to spend that plat on? Well, you have actually plenty of options, but one of those could be buying a good Riven for a Prime Access weapon. For example, like I sold the Scourge Prime God Roll Riven to some guy for like 3,000 plat the day Hero Prime came out. He had Hero Prime Prime Access Glyph equipped and all that stuff. That is stuff that does happen. Don't act like it doesn't happen. People do buy plat for Rivens in this game. It's not like every single time they're doing it, but it does definitely happen. So I'm just trying to say right now, don't worry about this. And by the way, if you are this is okay. You make it this far in the video. I want to. If you are LR3 and don't engage with Rivens, like you just don't take any part. I don't want any part of those Rivens. What do you actually do? Like, I'm actually like curious. LR3, you've grinded and leveled so many weapons. If you actively play the game, like, what do you do? Like, actually, like, that is a massive chunk of the loot in this game you would be saying no to if you didn't actually partake in Rivens. And I know this is not about Rivens, it's about stat sticks, but they kind of go hand in hand. I feel like the people that hate stat sticks probably also hate Rivens a lot of the time, too, so. Hope you guys found this video fun, helpful. It's more of a discussion, fun video. Like I said, please don't harass anybody in this that is discussed in this video in the tweets. It might have been like a terrible take, but I think they were, like I said, I think they were just asking for it basically. So yeah, I'll see you guys next one. I'll be live soon, probably. Actually, no, I'll probably be live later tonight for sure. Got some holiday stuff to take care of with some friends. So I will see you guys soon. Appreciate your support, and yeah. No, don't worry about those nerfs, at least in my eyes. All right, guys, take it easy. Peace.